In the gilded halls of Monaco's royal palace, where the Mediterranean sun casts long shadows through ancient windows, a love story unfolded that would captivate European society, only to crumble under the weight of ambition, distance, and the inexorable march of time. The marriage of Princess Charlotte Casiraghi to film producer Dimitri Rassam was more than a union of two hearts. It was a collision of two worlds, two legacies, and two souls whose destinies seemed written in the stars, yet proved as fragile as morning mist over the Côte d'Azur. What is it about the rarefied world of royalty that seems to poison even the most promising love stories? Why do marriages that begin with fairytale weddings, unlimited resources, and global goodwill so often end in separation and scandal? And what lessons can we glean from the romantic wreckage that litters the corridors of Europe's most prestigious palaces? Perhaps the end of their union should not overshadow the beauty of what it once represented. Time and again, Europe's royal houses have given the world stories of love that seemed to defy tradition, fairy tales that captured imaginations and inspired belief in happily ever after. But why do so many of these glittering romances struggle to endure? Is it the weight of centuries-old protocol colliding with modern ideas of freedom and partnership? Or could it be that the same spotlight that turns royal weddings into global spectacles also magnifies every flaw, every doubt, every private heartbreak? Charlotte's story, then, becomes not only a tale of disappointment, but also a reminder of how fragile and precious love remains, even in palaces. Her experience raises hopeful yet difficult questions. Can true love survive under the relentless gaze of the world? Can royalty, bound by duty, also embrace the authenticity modern relationships demand? And perhaps most poignantly, what lessons do these royal unions, in both their triumphs and failures, hold for the rest of us who still believe in the power of love? Charlotte Marie Pommelina Casiraghi, born into the rarefied air of European nobility as the daughter of Princess Caroline of Hanover and the late Stefano Casiraghi, had always moved through life with the grace of someone carrying both privilege and its accompanying burdens. In March 2018, several credible media sources reported Casiraghi's engagement to Dimitri Rassam, the son of French actress Carole Bouquet, marking the beginning of what would become one of the most watched royal romances of the decade. Dimitri Rassam, himself no stranger to the spotlight, as the progeny of celebrated French actress Carole Bouquet and producer Jean-Pierre Rassam, has carved his own path in the entertainment industry, producing such films as The Count of Monte Cristo, The Three Musketeers, and The Little Prince. Their courtship had the quality of a carefully orchestrated ballet. Two sophisticated individuals from the worlds of royalty and cinema, each understanding the other's relationship with fame, scrutiny, and the delicate dance of public life. The engagement announcement sent ripples through European society circles, where Charlotte's romantic history had long been a subject of fascination. Here was a woman who had already navigated the treacherous waters of love under the public eye, and now she was preparing to embark on what many hoped would be her greatest romantic adventure yet. To understand the magnitude of Charlotte's commitment to Dimitri, one must first examine the romantic chapter that preceded it, her relationship with French-Moroccan comedian Gad Elmaleh. He was in a relationship with Charlotte Casiraghi from December 2011 until June 2015. Their son, Raphael, was born on the 17th of December 2013. This relationship had been a study in contrasts: the aristocratic princess and the witty comedian, 15 years her senior, who had won hearts across France with his humor and charm. The dissolution of their romance in 2015 had left Charlotte as a single mother to young Raphael, navigating the complexities of co-parenting while maintaining her royal duties and personal ambitions. The experience had perhaps taught her valuable lessons about the delicate balance required between love and professional fulfillment, lessons that would prove prophetic in her future marriage. In June 2019, Charlotte Casiraghi and Dimitri Rassam were married civilly in the state apartments of Monaco's Prince's Palace, followed by a religious ceremony on June 29th at the Abbey Sainte-Marie de Pierredon in Provence. More than 6 decades earlier, Charlotte's grandmother, Grace Kelly, wed Prince Rainier III in the very same palace complex. Her civil wedding took place in the throne room, making Charlotte's nuptials a poignant echo of Monaco's most legendary royal love story. For the civil ceremony, The bride wore a brocade mini-dress by Saint Laurent, complete with 3 dramatic bows down the front. The choice was quintessentially Charlotte, elegant yet unconventional, respectful of tradition while making a distinctly modern statement. According to Vanity Fair, the bride stunned onlookers in a couture Chanel wedding gown and a Cartier necklace once owned by her grandmother for the religious ceremony that followed in the sun-drenched countryside of Provence. The guest list read like a who's who of European aristocracy and entertainment elite. Albert and Charlene's twins, Princess Gabriella and Prince Jacques, also made an appearance, per people, adding a touch of innocent joy to the proceedings. The weekend celebration was everything one might expect from such a union: opulent, romantic, and touched with the kind of magic that only seems possible when love and tradition converge in perfect harmony. Less than a year before they tied the knot, Charlotte and Dimitri welcomed their first child together, son Balthazar, adding another layer of joy and complexity to their burgeoning family. Charlotte was now a mother to 2 sons from 2 different relationships, each representing a different chapter in her romantic evolution. Yet beneath the glossy surface of their fairytale romance, fault lines were already beginning to appear. The demands of Dimitri's career in film production, with its unpredictable schedules and constant travel, began to strain the fabric of their domestic life. Per the outlet, they had no family life. It was heavy for her. The pattern was eerily reminiscent of Charlotte's previous relationship with Gad Elmaleh, where career demands had ultimately driven them apart. Charlotte, for her part, was no idle princess. As a Chanel ambassador, accomplished equestrian, and mother of 2, she had her own professional commitments and personal aspirations. The delicate balance between supporting her husband's ambitious career while maintaining her own identity and caring for their blended family proved increasingly difficult to maintain. The couple's attempts to bridge their different worlds, his rooted in the fast-paced, demanding realm of international film production, hers in the structured ceremonial world of European royalty, began to reveal fundamental incompatibilities that love alone could not overcome. Charlotte Casiraghi separates from husband as she's pictured with reported new beau, read the headlines in March 2024, marking the beginning of the end for what had once seemed like a perfect union. Dimitri Rassam and Charlotte Casiraghi's relationship is believed to be on the rocks, as reports began circulating throughout 2024 about the couple's increasingly strained relationship. The separation, when it finally came, was handled with the discretion and dignity one would expect from someone of Charlotte's background. There were no public recriminations, no bitter custody battles played out in the media. The story of Charlotte Casiraghi and Dimitri Rassam is, ultimately, a very human one. Stripped of its royal trappings and celebrity glamour, it is the tale of 2 accomplished individuals who fell deeply in love, created a family together, and discovered that love, even profound, genuine love, is not always enough to sustain a marriage in the face of competing ambitions, different life philosophies, and the relentless pressures of public life. Charlotte's romantic journey, from the passionate but ultimately unsustainable relationship with Gad Elmaleh to the fairy-tale marriage and subsequent divorce from Dimitri Rassam, reflects the broader challenges facing modern women who must balance personal fulfillment, professional ambition, motherhood, and the search for lasting love. That she has done so under the constant scrutiny of the European press makes her struggles all the more poignant. The princess who once seemed to have everything, beauty, intelligence, noble lineage, professional success, has learned the hard lesson that happiness cannot be inherited or purchased, but must be carefully cultivated and constantly tended, like the most delicate of flowers in Monaco's royal gardens. As Charlotte moves forward into the next chapter of her life, the marriage to Dimitri Rassam will likely be remembered not as a failure, but as a brave attempt to build something beautiful and lasting in an increasingly fragmented world. Their son Balthazar stands as a living testament to the love they shared, even if that love proved insufficient to sustain their marriage. Charlotte Casiraghi reveals what's helped her following divorce from Dimitri Rassam, suggesting a woman who is processing her experiences with thoughtfulness and grace. The dissolution of her marriage, painful though it may be, represents not an ending, but a transformation. The evolution of a woman who refuses to be defined by her romantic relationships, however public or painful they may be. In the grand narrative of Monaco's royal family, Charlotte's story adds a note of modern complexity to the fairy tale mythology that has surrounded the principality since her grandmother, Grace Kelly's legendary transformation from Hollywood starlet to European princess. Unlike Grace's seemingly perfect love story with Prince Rainier, Charlotte's romantic life reflects the messier realities of contemporary relationships, where women are no longer content to disappear into marriage, but insist on maintaining their own identities, ambitions, and dreams. The marriage of Charlotte Casiraghi and Dimitri Rassam, brief though it was, will be remembered as a moment when old-world romance collided with new-world realities, producing something beautiful, complex, and ultimately unsustainable. In its rise and fall, we see reflected the broader challenges of love in the 21st century, the difficulty of balancing individual fulfillment with shared commitment, the struggle to maintain intimacy across the demands of ambitious careers, and the particular pressures that come with living life under the constant gaze of public scrutiny. As the Mediterranean sun sets over Monaco's palace, casting the same golden light that once illuminated Grace Kelly's wedding to Prince Rainier, Charlotte Casiraghi continues to write her own story, one that may not follow the traditional fairy tale script, but is no less compelling for its honesty, complexity, and ultimate humanity.